scary moment for the Warriors last night when Kevin Durant hyperextended his knee in a loss to the Wizards. He had an MRI, and results showed a grade 2 MCL sprain and a tibial bone bruise. He will be out indefinitely and reevaluated in 4 weeks, but is expected to be back for the playoffs. Draymond Green told the undefeated Mark Spears this morning, "I'm definitely relieved. I thought it would be way worse. Being away week sucks, but we will take that over what we initially thought." Stephen A., how concerned are you about KD's injury?
I'm very concerned about it simply because I have sources outside of the Warriors who are telling me they're hearing that the injury may be even more severe than is being let on, and that who knows what could happen to Kevin Durant in the postseason. Having said that, I have to lean on what I'm hearing directly from the Warriors, and that is that the grade 2 MCL sprain and tibial bone bruise is what it is, that he's going to be out for the rest of the regular season, but he will be back for the playoffs. That's their stance. That's what they believe. They're certainly not counting him out for the rest of the season, and we have to go by that right now, in fairness to the Warriors. That's what they're reporting. That's what they put out for us all, and it is what it is. I would ask this, though. Kevin Durant is a slim individual. Those legs are pivotal to him. No, he doesn't have to jump out the gym or anything, and it doesn't stop him from getting off his perimeter shot. But playing for the Golden State Warriors with a knee injury is quite different, Max, than, let's say, if you were playing with the Bad Boy Pistons or the New York Knicks or what have you. You know, when you're playing with a physical, slow, and methodical team, even with those leg injuries, it's far different than when you're a run-and-gun style of team and you're a run-and-gun style player. That's what Kevin Durant is. And the fact that it's a knee that's inhibiting him at this particular juncture is something to be concerned about. We'll lean on what the Warriors said. We got to take them at their word. But I could tell you, based on people that I've spoken to, that now I'm not talking about the Warriors because they said what they said, but people on the outside who have knowledge of those players, friends with those players and beyond, they say that the concern is far greater than is being led on. We'll see.
I am extremely worried about this, mainly because of the following, Stephen A. We argued at the beginning of this season, did Durant going to the Warriors ruin the season? And you said it did because we all know the finals. And I said
regular season.
Regular season.
Right.
And I said it didn't because it's going to be amazing to watch this thing unfold. And ultimately, we are going to get a finals that is a rubber match. It's a boxing term. It means one team wins one, or one fighter wins one, the first contest, the other wins the next, the rematch, and the rubber match bounces one way or the other to make it 2-1. This was the rubber match, Warriors-Cavs. And the reason I loved it so much, for the era. This is like, what will this era be named for? Is it the Cavs era or the Warriors era? The reason it was so interesting to me was because the Warriors reminded me of the Dream Team. When, you know, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, everyone, Patrick Ewing got together and stomped the world, right, for the gold medal. Well, that's not that interesting because as you bring up, who are they beating? Angola? I mean, it's unfair. But what if, on the way to the gold medal round, the Dream Team knew the Redeem Team was waiting for them with LeBron and everybody? That's what these finals, that's how they captured my imagination. Not only a rubber match in a finals, which almost never happens, with the era at stake, but the Dream Team's going to play the Redeem Team. Two powerhouses where, had they played in different eras, we just throw up our hands and say, well, you never know who could have won. That's impossible to say. But we will know who was going to win. We were going to know because they were going to play each other. And now, Durant's catastrophic injury, if it indeed compromises him throughout the playoffs, or worse, takes him out of the playoffs and out of the finals, even if the Warriors should somehow get there without him, completely ruins that whole scenario. It ruins it. So not only throughout most of the regular season, this is all a foregone conclusion, but then just as you get to the best part, the payoff that people like me are arguing against people like you makes the regular season worth it, you don't get the final scene. This is it's devastating news, and I'm very worried about KD's health for that reason.
my sympathy and my condolences to you, Max Kellerman, living the posh lifestyle that you live, being in front of your TV set with your beautiful family. Oh, my Lord, you may not get to see the matchup. So in other words, I'm supposed to feel bad for you. But when I pointed out how I got to travel to these games, going through airports, catching connecting flights, and doing all of this stuff just to watch blowouts, I heard no sympathy for me whatsoever.
You get
Matter of fact,
paid to
that Max
travel.
Kellerman,
Stephen A., you have to do what you have to do to bring me the best information. I am a purveyor of basketball, and I need my Stephen A. Smith reports live from the game. So I'm sorry, you got to do what you got to do.
Max, I got, you know what? Step aside for a second, Max, because we've let Molly off the hook just a little bit too much. Her wanting to chirp all the time. When you talk about I'm getting paid, excuse me, you travel for free? You don't travel for free? You don't get to go back and forth to LA from time to time? You don't get to chill and live the high life? Molly's just chilling. It's freezing in Bristol all the time, which, by the way, is your home right here near Connecticut. The last time I checked, but I'm the person that gets up. Okay. Oh, I'm flying for free. So, but Molly gets over, right?
But you get paid to do that. You get paid good money. You're Tom Ford suits every day. That's extra money in your pocket.
I'm sorry, Molly. Last time I checked,
it's for free.
Hold on, Molly. I mean, last time I checked, you went from L.A. to getting paid to be near home. But I got it better, right? Oh, stop it. Just stop the nonsense. Where you from, Miss Connecticut? Where you from? I'm just saying.
Okay.
You're living pretty well. You're living pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah. We have no sympathy for you,
don't
Stephen
get me started with you, Max. Don't you get me started with you.
Listen, we need you there courtside, so you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do. I will be in front of the TV.
Yeah, whatever. Right, it's interesting now because anybody can win now. Kevin Durant's out. It's interesting now. Regular season ain't ruined after all.
First of all, just for his own sake, let's hope he gets back.
I wish, of course. I do hope he gets back. In all seriousness, Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players in the world. I want to see him on a basketball court 100% healthy. My prayers are with him that he'll get back ready to roll because I want to see him play.
Speaking of the greatest in the world, Michael Jordan had 28 triple-doubles in his career. Russell Westbrook recorded his 30th, I repeat that, 30th last night. He has 30 in a season, scoring 14 straight fourth-quarter points to lead the Thunder over the Jazz. Stephen A., did last night prove that Westbrook is the MVP?
Well, it certainly didn't disprove it. I'm going to tell you I'm still a James Harden guy, but I'll also go as far as to say that if there's a co-MVP with him and Russell Westbrook, I'm not going to have a problem with it. I'm just looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder and what they are without Russell Westbrook, and it is night and day compared to what they are with him. You talk about a one-man wrecking crew. You got to remember that I'm the guy that covered practically actually not practically, but literally every game of the first 7 years of Allen Iverson's career and about 90% of his games for the first 10 years of his career. I watched a 6-foot guard from Virginia be a one-man wrecking crew on the offensive end of the floor night in, night out, and never thought in my lifetime I would see something like this again. And what I see in Russell Westbrook is a dude that is about 3 to 4 inches taller, about 20 to 30 pounds heavier, that actually is more of a ruthless competitor than even Allen Iverson. I cannot believe what I am watching. It is nothing short of sensational. And Russell Westbrook, I can't say enough about him. He has been unbelievable this year.
I always say that Westbrook is, Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson had a baby, and it was Russell Westbrook. I mean, what this guy is doing, he can't even be described like as matter. He's like made of photons. You need a wavelength to describe what he's doing. He's pure energy. It's amazing. That's why he's my favorite player. And I picked him before the season started to be the MVP, and I believe he will win the MVP. And based on the criteria that's used, I think he'll deserve it slightly over James Harden. That said, in a league where 16 out of 30 teams, over 50% of the teams, make the playoffs, and it's almost impossible for an MVP to come from a non-playoff team, I think it's foolish for us to give an MVP award right after the regular season and then just again in the finals. It ignores the playoffs. Given how long the playoffs are, how many games are played, and the conditions I just outlined, I think you have to wait till the end of the finals before you really know in a larger sense who the MVP is. I'm not saying Kawhi Leonard or Iguodala, because they won finals MVP, should have been the league MVP. I'm not saying that. But at the end of every season, even when Kevin Durant won it, even when Steph Curry won it back-to-back, they deserved regular season. But by the end of the finals, we all knew the real MVP of the NBA was LeBron James. So though Westbrook proved again, I believe he'll get it, and he's earned the regular season one by the end, in my view, LeBron James is always the MVP of the league until proven otherwise.
Max, the only reason I disagree with your synopsis there is this. First of all, the regular season has to count for something, not just for the teams collectively in terms of their win-loss records, but individual performances. And secondly, and more importantly, there are guys that have been relatively average and really elevate their level of play in the postseason, and guys who have been spectacular during the regular season and diminish their level of play during the postseason. So what I would say to you is that it truly, truly is two different seasons, because you got back-to-backs, you got different opponents every night, whereas in the playoffs you got 7-game series and what have you. I don't like the notion of waiting until the postseason is over before league MVP.
I say wait it all. Like LeBron, for example, is almost as good in the regular season. I would say he's better in the regular season than Westbrook, Harden, or anyone. But even if you want to argue statistically that it doesn't always show up, he doesn't play as many games, whatever. But he's right there. And then in the much higher leverage moments in games, he's the best. So when you add it all up, I just think he deserves the MVP every year.
You're not wrong. I'm just talking about preference. You're not wrong. It's just that it's a preference. I like the two different seasons as opposed to lumping it all.
As of right now, Westbrook or Harden, you're saying it's a tie, or Westbrook's pulled ahead now?
I think it's a co-MVP right now. I would give him co-MVPs.
Co-MVPs like Kobe and Shaq. We'll leave it there. Today is the first day of March and kicks off a very important month. I will explain next in my final take.